Hello. Welcome to the Ritchie Roundup. What did I not have time to get to tonight on the radio? A bunch of stuff, actually. But I'm not going to a long, drawn-out podcast tonight because I'm tired. That's why I'm be tired. I got like 13 jobs. I'm doing 13 damn jobs. Thank you for listening. I am America's coolest conservative. You can't forget that. I mean, and there's not even any competition in that category of America's coolest conservative. Okay. So what are we talking about tonight? Here's what we're talking about. How DEI, and I don't mean Dale Earnhardt Incorporated. There's a lot of people in my home area of Charlotte would think DEI means. I'm talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion. How that negatively affects the recipient of the benefits of DEI. Okay, here's what I'm talking about. Stay with me now. There is a woman named Jen Powell. Jen Powell is a major league umpire, glass ceiling breaker. She is the first female umpire in the major leagues. And she stands to be the first. I think she does it part-time now. They move her up from the minor leagues, from AAA to major leagues whenever they need someone and they're shorthanded. But I think she is, or she's not already, is about to be the first full-time major league umpire that is a woman. Okay. Now, if you stop and think about it, you go, is she the first major league umpire that's a woman strictly because she's a woman, or is she just that good that she's better than all the other men at her level and at her years of expertise, and she just happens to be a woman? Now, first and foremost, that's how DEI and quotas and affirmative action and all of that negatively affects the person who has the promotion or the job. Now, you question that. And that's what Charlie Kirk said about the pilots. If they are black or female, I don't want to think, did they get their job on merit or just because they're black or they're female? And they took that and ran with it and called him. To this day, they say that that's the proof that Charlie Kirk was a racist. But it's not. That's ridiculous. So when you hire people based upon their sex or their color, then you're not hiring them or promoting them based on their merit as to whether or not they're the best at the job. So you think, okay, first of all, there's doubt with Jen Powell. Whether you know anything about baseball or not, you know that if she's the first woman umpire in the major leagues, did she get the gig? You're going to say, did she get the gig because she's that good, better than all the other men? Or did she get the gig because she's a woman? The doubt is there. Now, Jen Powell happens to be a terrible umpire. If I'm not mistaken, her very first call behind the plate was overturned. They have this thing now where you can challenge balls and strikes, and the computer will tell you if the umpire got it right or wrong. Okay. I'm pretty sure she missed her very first. Well, no, they didn't challenge the first pitch, but anybody could see that she missed the first call, whether they challenged it or not. I don't think they challenged it, but she called it a strike and it was a ball out of the strike zone. Okay. Now, since then, she has really screwed up some stuff. Players challenging and overturning her calls a lot. So now she's become the talk of the league and all across the league by the fans saying that she's a terrible umpire. All right. That's a negative thing that she has to deal with because she, in my opinion, and most people's opinion, she wasn't ready to be a major league umpire. When you put somebody in a position, not because they're good enough, but because they fit the criteria of their sex or their color, then you're doing them a disservice because you're putting them somewhere where they're over their head. She's over her head and she's getting ridiculed for it. And I know she's having to deal with that in her personal life of all these people ridiculing her for being terrible as an umpire. All right. Now, she may not care. She may be, I don't care. I'm getting paid as a major league umpire. I made it. So what? I don't care what they say. But that's kind of hard. That's kind of hard to live that way when you know that everybody in your industry is talking about how bad you are at what you do and that you don't deserve what you've gotten. Now, the other thing is with these women who are in these sports where it has always been men who are officiating these sports. For example, women referees in football. Or just say Jen Powell, using her as an example again in major leagues. And I know there are some female NBA refs as well. Do the man coaches, let's say it's football, all the men are all the coaches are men. Do they yell and scream at the female referees the same way they would if it's a man referee? I don't see them doing that. I don't see, like, there was a disputed calls and stuff with this Jen Powell in the clips that I saw from the game the other night with the Padres. And I didn't see any of the coaches running out there and getting in her face, yelling and screaming at her the way they would a man. Now, they may have gone out and disagreed with her and argued with her, but not the same way they get in the faces of the men umpires. So is that fair? No, it's not. But what would happen if a major league manager ran out and got in Jen Powell's face and started screaming, yelling? She throws him out, and he just continues to get closer to her face and yell, screaming, spitting on her as he's talking and all that, like they do. That's the way coaches do with umpires. What would happen? So not only is it a disservice to her by putting her there when she's not ready, because she's getting ridiculed and everything, now it's a disservice to the entire game because the coaches can't treat her the same way as they would if she were a man. And in football, the women referees are not treated the same way the men referees are. So therefore, it's forcing the coaches to change the way they act during a game because the woman is the referee. Now, you think back, there are a lot of football coaches and baseball coaches don't get the same treatment. A football coach will yell and scream at a referee on the sidelines, and the referee just stands there and looks straight ahead and doesn't do anything. If a baseball coach does that to an umpire, he gets thrown out, and if he keeps going and going and going, then security removes him. He gets, take him out of here. So again, football coaches have more leeway when it comes to yelling at referees because nothing's going to happen to them. They're not going to get thrown out of the game, but they don't do it. And people will go, well, it's because the women aren't missing any calls for the coaches to be mad at them. Come on. So what is my point in all of this? My point is that when you don't reward people based on their merit, it messes up the whole cycle of things. It messes up everything in the world, of whatever world you're in. You can't pick and choose who's going to do what by anything other than the merit, or you're going to end up causing problems for everybody. Having this woman as a major league umpire when she's not ready is not good for the game. I don't know who was clamoring for this. I'm sure that some special interest groups were saying, why are there no women umpires? Just like, why all of a sudden do there have to be women play-by-play announcers of Major League Baseball? Are there, were they given the job because they're the very best available to do it? The local Oakland, not Oakland, I guess I don't know what they're called right now, but they're Las Vegas, I guess, Athletics. Used to be the Oakland A's. I think they have their local TV radio announcer or something is a woman play-by-play, and she gets ridiculed all the time. Now, there are women who are in positions that are usually held by men that are there or were there because of their merit. Linda Cohn, who just retired from ESPN. She was fantastic on SportsCenter. She was as good as any of the men that have ever been there. She's awesome. She didn't get hired because she was a woman when she got hired. She got hired because she was good. But that cannot be said, I'm telling you, about Jen Powell, bless her heart, the first major league umpire that's a woman. So whether it's Major League Baseball or whether it's, the Tiddlywink factory, when you promote people based on their skin color or their sex, it's not good for anybody. Never, ever. All right. I really don't know what all I just talked about. I'm so tired. It's Monday. I got 10 jobs, 11 jobs, something like that. I'm ready to go to bed. I'm only doing this every night because it's just hoping I can make a nickel off of it. I'd be glad to promote a woman to do this job, whether she had the merit to do it or not. Just take some heat off me. All right. Thanks for listening and watching and all that you do. I appreciate your support. Bye.